To playlist 1 of cancer biology. In this playlist I will be explaining the introduction of cancer. This playlist is comprised of several sections in which we will progress to understand the cancer molecular biology. I will start with absolute beginner form. We will first understand what is cancer, and then we will proceed to understand what are the molecular mechanisms for the cancer. Please, if you are new to this channel, I advise you to subscribe my channel Gene Buddy for future updates. This playlist will serve as a complete guide to master you in cancer biology. So we can have the first introduction of cancer. This will be a quick video. We will understand what is cancer. In cancer we have the proliferative ability of the dividing cells, that they undergo rapid dividing and then they form masses in the body which we called tumor, and then they metastasize and reach to other organs in the body like liver, kidneys, eyes, heart. So they have the ability to metastasize. This picture will basically give the stage journey of cancer cell. We have initiation or early damage. This can be done by tobacco exposure, UV rays, viral agents, processed food. We have epigenetic changes as well. Basically, epigenetic changes are changes in the DNA, in which the DNA can have some changes due to environment. We have some methylation, so methyl groups attached to the DNA, so they can turn off or turn on some critical genes. For instance, they can turn off some critical genes that will cause cancer, which we will explain in the future videos. So this is our immortal cell. Here you can see we have growth receptors as well, which I will explain in the upcoming videos. And then we have an immortal cell line. This will metastasize, as explained here, to other tissues. Cancer will also interfere with tumor microenvironment, the other cells that are around the tumor cell, and they can crosstalk and then they support the cancer. In angiogenesis is also seen in cancer cells, in which we see that cancer cells keep on dividing and they get the nutrients from other cells as well. They get the nutrients from through blood vessels. They get nutrients and then they grow. So we will proceed to our next section, in which I will explain the cancer overview. So if we can go to some, that is our basically cancer can be explained in two ways. So in the body we have life signals that basically promotes life, and they are called proto-oncogenes. So when we have the cells or the genes that are normally making proteins that support growth, survival, they are called proto-oncogenes. Okay, and they support life. And when those same genes become cancerous, they are called oncogenic. And I have drawn the symbol here, which basically is a caution symbol. So the same genes, when they turn mutated, they can become oncogene. So we will explain all those genes, all those receptors in a really brief video. So the example that I can give you is that we have on our cells, we have some specific doors which are called receptors. So this is our epidermal cell, and this is called epidermal growth factor receptor. This is the normal receptor. Okay, and once it will basically bind to the growth signals. Okay, this is normal. Let's suppose this receptor becomes mutated. Okay, these receptors become mutated, so then this the gene that is coding for these receptors is called oncogene. What happens in this situation is that it is the same receptor, but now it is mutated. So what happens, even if there is no growth signal, this will tell the cell to keep dividing and never stop. Keep divide and never stop. So what happens here is that this is encoded by the gene. Previously it was a proto-oncogene, but now it has become an oncogene. So this receptor this receptor doesn't require any growth signal, even if there is no growth signal. So growth signal is necessary in normal situation to initiate cell growth. So in case of mutation, there is no growth signal, so the cell normally should not divide. But what happens that this is a mutated receptor, it will keep the cell in a dividing stage, and this can cause cancer. This is the brief introduction overview in which we have understood proto-oncogenes, oncogenes. Along the way, we will explain and we will learn some important genes that basically act as a way to suppress the cells. For instance, this cell is damaged, so we have some special proteins that basically make sure that this cell is fixed. So what are those special proteins? We will look at those proteins in the upcoming video. Thank you.